Guys, game, and so this next gen coming up, we're getting close to this whole full dive technology, nigga. We are getting close. Get hyped. Get hyped. Listen, I have a boner right now. I am so unbelievably hard. Holy shit, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuned into Twitter, social media, the internet, you should have seen or heard about the Wired article that just dropped. Basically, we have officially been given information, or no, I'm put it like this: PlayStation, Sony has officially revealed the PlayStation 5. Okay, so with this article, this is actually the same way that they initially hinted at it earlier this year whenever we started talking about the ray tracing with the load times. Cerny, basically. This is the same kind of concept. And so this is interesting. So Sony, PlayStation, they bring in, I think it was Wired last time, say, hey guys, we're ready to talk, like come to our office, because that's basically what happens in this article. They come to their office and then they showcase stuff. So in this article, we're not going to be reading it all because there is quite a bit. Let me scroll down just so you can see. There is quite a bit to this article. I will be highlighting the most important pieces. So you might have gotten a recap of if you've seen things across the internet, but I'm going to be adding in my own 2 cents, and we're going to actually talk about how these things are accomplishable, right? Some of the things, right? So shoot, this is big stuff, so let's just let's get into it. I meant to mention, in the article, because I don't talk about it, but they literally gave the guy games to try out the new DualShock controller with, right? So like the stuff is alive and real. They just didn't show any pictures or anything like that. And I think that's why they choose journalistic sites to do this, not like YouTubers or anything like that, because they're not ready to reveal. They just want it to be in like a written form. To begin, exclusive, a deeper look at the PlayStation 5. See, notice how they say deeper look, because we did get a little bit of information on it and things like that prior. Now that the name is official, we've got more details about Sony's next-gen console, from the haptics pack controller to UI improvements. The UI is where we're going to be talking about how the heck that's accomplishable. So essentially, it starts off with, who is it? Jim Ryan, basically starting off by saying, hey, it's called the PlayStation 5. And for some reason, I don't understand why he says this. So he goes, like a giant, it feels like he said, the console, he tells me, will be called PlayStation 5. It's nice to be able to say it, he says, like a giant burden has been lifted from my shoulders. Why is revealing the name, you know what I mean, of the PS5, which we were already calling it that a giant burden? You know, I don't know. Okay, and right here, Wired broke the story. So yeah, they are the ones. Let's just take a look at what that one was. What to expect from Sony's next gen. I think we also had a video where I broke this down. Maybe not. Who knows? So just to recap, like the PS5, Scarlet. Scarlet will boast a CPU based on AMD's Ryzen line and GPU based on Navi family, like the PS5. It will ditch the spinning hard drive for a solid-state drive. So, most of you guys probably understand the actual big differences and capabilities of that, but let's just see what Mark Cerny has to say. Actually, before we get into that, ray tracing, Cerny starts off by clearing up kind of the whole concept of it. So I don't fully understand ray tracing. I didn't look into it too much. I think I did, but like I wasn't actually caring that much. So whatever. So this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because, like I said, I don't really understand it. But he says when we last discussed the forthcoming console, he spoke about its ability to support ray tracing, a technique that can enable complex lighting and sound effects in 3D environments. So yeah, that makes sense. But he says, given the many questions he's received since, he fears he may have been ambiguous about how the PS5 would accomplish this, and confirms that it's not a software level fix. Oh no, I get that, because I read this earlier and I didn't fully get it. But no, software level fix, he means it's not like just the game doing some tricks. No, it's actually the hardware in the background is able to output ray tracing effects or whatever, however you like say that. So that's big. He's basically saying, no, we have enough power in this bad boy to do that shit. Really. Not no, yeah, because I think that's what it was. Whenever we used to talk about the checkerboarding 4K, that was a software level 4K that people started, you know, twisting the whole story and saying that it was going to be, you know what I mean? So no, it is fully natural grade ray tracing. Cool. All right, let's continue. So to begin and talk about the SSD. So he says it's not just the speed that makes the SSD formidable, he says, but the efficiency it offers. Think about the hard drive in a game console. This is a good ass analogy. So listen up. Spinning like a 5,400 RPM vinyl record. For the console to read a piece of information off the drive, it first has to send out the disk head like a turntable needle. to find it. All right, so each seek, as it's known, may entail only a scant handful of milliseconds, but that shit adds up, you know? So it's like, oh, it takes me a millisecond to move my finger this way, but now the whole time of moving my finger, then my hand, then my whole arm, that's a little bit of time, right? That's kind of what he's saying. I don't know why I just explained that when it was a perfect example. I'm dumb. To minimize them, developers would often duplicate certain game assets in order to form contiguous data blocks which the drive can read faster. We're talking common stuff here. Lamppost, anonymous, passerby. Oh my God. So we're talking about in an open world when you're walking, right, and a person appears. They would duplicate that data of that person, that character, so that they can show up faster. So it's more prevalent in that, you know, in that speed. So it's say, oh, I see it right there, because there's multiple of it, right? Yeah. His example right there is what really made me understand that. Because again, when I read this last time, I didn't fully grasp it. Wow. But data adds up too. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's one character, but now imagine if you have an open world with multiple characters. Now you have duplicated all of those people. No. If you look at a game like Marvel Spider-Man, perfect example again. Cerny says there's some pieces of data duplicated 400 times on the hard drive. The SSD sweeps away the need for all that duping. So not only is it raw read speed dramatically faster than a hard drive, but it saves crucial space. So things like 100 gigabyte Red Dead Redemption could potentially be because of that duplication aspect. So actually, on that note, I would be very interested to see Red Dead Redemption 2 PC size, because that just got announced. Holy shit. Oh yeah, it's not out yet because we don't know yet. That'll be big because we have 100 gigabytes plus updates for the console versions of them. So I would be very interested to see. How developers will take advantage of that space will likely differ. Some may opt to build a larger or more detailed game world because you don't have to duplicate a bunch of shit. Others may be content to shrink the size of the games or patches, just so that, you know, that it can be smaller, right? And then lastly, either way, physical games for the PS5 will use 100 gigabyte optical discs inserted into an optical drive that doubles as a 4K Blu-ray player. So I think it's like the idea that we would have to get our PS4 games and then download a bunch of shit at the start. No, the game will at least have a whole, I think, can hold at least up to 100 gigs. Is that what they're trying to tell me? And then from there, the rest then gets downloaded, you know? I don't know. And so then it leads into game installation, right? It's like, will be a bit different than the PS4. This time around, aided in part by the simplified game data possible with the SSD. Okay, since you don't have to duplicate a bunch of shit, Sony's changing its approach to storage. Because if you think about it, if you have a bunch of, let me continue. Because I know what I was gonna say, but you don't yet. I got the hiccups. All right, we're good. Sony is changing its approach to storage, making for a more configurable installation and removal process. Rather than treating games like big blocks of data, Cerny says, we're allowing finer-grained access to the data. That could mean that the ability to install just the game's multiplayer campaign, leaving the single-player campaign for another time, or just installing the whole thing and then deleting just the single-player campaign once you finished it. That is pretty big, and that is so cool to me because you saw that with the whole Red Dead Redemption 2 fiasco where it was 100 gigabyte on launch, no updates yet. We're all like, wait a second, my nigga. I got a base 500 gigabyte PS4. You trying to tell me I can only play 5 you know what I mean? Like, obviously not gonna buy 5 of the same, but like if we had 5 of the same of that level, I could only hold 5 of them, not even, more like 4 because there's residual data, there's extra data on top of that. It's just like, holy shit, there needed to be some way. So this is how we're going to be able to accomplish that. This system will release at like 2 terabytes to start. And then from there, it's going to get up to like 10. You can add it down the line. Something like that, I promise. Then we get into the UI. So this is where, to me, it gets pretty freaking interesting. So regardless of what parts of the game you choose to install and play, you'll be able to stay abreast of it via a completely revamped user interface. The PS4's bare-bone home screen at times feels frozen in amber. You can see what your friends have recently done, or even what games how they might be playing at the moment. But without launching an individual title, there's no way to tell what single-player missions you could do or what multiplayer matches you can join. The PS5 will change that. So even though it will be fairly fast to boot games, we don't want the player to have to boot the game, see what's up, boot the game, see what's up, Cerny says. Multiplayer game servers will provide the console with the set of joinable activities in real time. Single player games will provide information like what missions you could do and what rewards you might receive for completing them. And all those choices will be visible in the UI. As a player, you just jump right into whatever you like. So that is such an attainable, like they could add an update to the PS4 UI right now to do that type of shit, because that type of upgrade does nothing to do with the hardware. That is a fully blown software type of idea. I don't even know if software is what the right term, server level maybe, right? Whenever you're spinning up a game, running a game, there's things going on in the background, obviously. So all it is just relaying that information in a public fashion. So it's like, okay, I'm playing, I'm playing Code Vein. I'm on the successor of the Ribcage area. You know what I'm trying to say? Maybe, or this is Ashen Cave. We're in the Ashen Cave. So all I can say is in Ashen Cave fighting the boss. You know what I'm saying? Like all it has to do is present what's actually happening, because it's already doing that stuff to a public eye, essentially. I just think that's so cool though. That is so cool. I'll be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta ask you what part are you at. No, I just look at what you're doing and say, hey, you want me to help you? Yeah, jump in. And I dive in. I like that, bro. It's peculiar. After all, there's a little hole on it. Let's talk about the PS4 controller. Recently published patent. I don't know nothing about this, because we know about a couple patents, y'all. We know about a couple freaking patents. Wait, what? Patent. Voice help system using artificial intelligence. Yeah, so they have that, but then we have the controller one with the detachable thing. Dude, there's so many patents out there that, like, yeah, this doesn't mean anything. But this one sounds way more like real, you know? So then we talk about the controller. So the controller, which will be called DualShock 5, though Cerny just says it doesn't have a name yet, does have some features Cerny's more interested in acknowledging. One is adaptive triggers that can offer varying levels of resistance to make shooting a bow and arrow feel like the real thing. The tension increasing as you pull the arrow back or make a machine gun feel far different from a shotgun. It also boasts haptic feedback for more capable than the rumble motor console gamers are used to, with highly programmable voice coil actuators located in the left and right grips of the controller. So we're gonna say, what is the so they call this haptic feedback. Where's that phrase at? Haptic feedback. So I'm wondering, what is the thing called in the Joy-Con, Nintendo's Joy-Cons? Okay, they call it HD rumble. So I think it's still the same as, like, that's what they call it in the Rumble, right? They call that Rumble for the PS4 controller. Yeah, because right there, old style Rumble feedback. So like PS4, DualShock 4, PS3, DualShock 3, those just have Rumble. The Joy-Cons introduced HD Rumble, and now we're talking about, what do they call it? A haptic feedback, I guess? Adaptive trigger. I mean, no, I think it's the haptic aspect of it, right? That's what it is. Combined with an improved speaker on the controller, the haptics can enable some astonishing effects. So right here, he kind of just sucks it off a little bit, saying that was really cool. But the idea that, like, think about it. I think you can really get a picture of this in your head. Like, imagine, right? You're trying to shoot a gun, or you're trying to do a bow, and it's a little. Because think about it, when you pull, if you ever pulled a bow? Some of y'all niggas is hunters. I pulled a real bow because my niggas was all hunters. And, like, it's a little, you know what I'm saying? So, like, imagine that, like, having some tension and, like, oh my God. I feel like gaming, that'll be so, and then the bigger one is the difference in guns. Like, you're gonna be like, oh, I like how this, you know what I mean? That shit's gonna be insane. And this is the kind of stuff that I like for consoles, because it kind of boasts and gives us a reason to be excited for consoles versus just PC gaming. PC gaming, I'll just slap all this power in it. It's funny I'm still talking about it like this, but yet I'm looking at a 1080 Ti, bro. But anyways, like, I don't know, it's overhyped in my opinion, bro. You know, so this is really cool. This is really cool. What do you guys think? He talks about how DualShock 4 versus this new controller is nowhere near the same. Like, oh, because not only is it for the resistance, for the adaptive triggers, but, like, same with the motion of it, the haptic feedback. Like, he's saying he's walking in sand, and it feel like you have this feeling of sand. Jumping into a pool, got a sense of resistance of the water. On a wooden bridge, a bouncy sensation. On ice, high frequency response made the thumbsticks really feel like my character was gliding. That is just a different type of immersion for a video game. You pair that with something maybe VR, and you're, guys, game. And so this next gen coming up, this is the, We're getting close to this whole full dive technology, nigga. We are getting close. Get hyped. Get hyped. Listen, I have a boner right now. I am so unbelievably hard. Holy shit, bro. Yeah, essentially that's all I had to say. I mean, let's read the last paragraph here because it's somebody from EA. Not fuck EA, but I like it's cool having like an outside person comment on these kind of things. So he says, I could really be specific, talk about experimenting with ambient occlusion techniques or the examination of ray traced shadows, says Laura Miele. I'm happy she used big words like this. I wanted her to say something that we don't understand as non-game developers. Chief studio officer for EA. More generally, we're seeing the GPU be able to power machine learning for all sorts of really interesting advancements in the gameplay and other tools. So that whole AI thing, bro, imagine that. Based off of your previous feedbacks in talking to NPCs, the machine learning can kind of understand. I don't know, but that's kind of where my head's going when I hear something like that. Like people are playing video games and your conversations are different, you know, than the other your friend across the street that's playing this game, right? Can you imagine that everybody plays a game and based off of your unique personality, aka meaning what you pick to say, changes how the game draws out. Now obviously we can do that in multiple fashions, very slight changes, or what happens when you get to the granular level. You said one motherfucking thing 2 episodes back of a let's play that now gives you this crazy ass ending that no one has seen yet. Something like that, bro. That's kind of where I think what AI machine learning gaming is going. That was just a little bit, that came out of nowhere. I did not think about that until I read that again. So, let me know, bro. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Who's getting PS5 day one? It doesn't matter what's released on it, guys. I love innovation. I love new shit. I love it. All right. I'm going to see y'all later. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe. I'm going to go to the gym. This was a 23-minute recording session. This should be less than 15 minutes of a video, but holy shit, I didn't think I was going to be here for that long. I got to go work. Ow, bro. All right, I'm out. Lamp with the tape, I'm a legend in the room. JAMSQUAD chillin', now my homies bringing boom. Don't try to play the game without asking about the rules. I keep my cards safe, nigga, what you do? Pop it off easy, I'm not trying to snap your neck.